Hello, welcome to Omnia, the channel where the dude on the left stands there and waves his hand whilst this voice explains things. Today, the video will briefly explore some periods of Earth's history, from the Cambrian to the Quaternary. This spans over 3 different eras, the Paleozoic, the Mesozoic and the Cenozoic. The first period of today's video is the Cambrian, which lasted from 541 million years ago to around 485 million years ago. It was the period where life hastily began to diversify, gaining more complex body plans like that of the trilobites, shown here in an awful drawing. I'm no artist, so here's a real photograph of one. Obviously, this one is dead, and probably didn't even live through the Cambrian period, as this body plan was quite good and lasted them all the way to the end of the Permian period some 251 million years ago. There is a common denominator for all these periods, being that they ended with a lot of death of species on Earth. A mass extinction, and compared to some, the Cambrian ended rather gently. The next period is the Ordovician, a piece of geological time that lasted from 485 to 444 million years ago. Here, life began to become a bit more complicated, but most things still wanted to stick in the water, much like the nautiloid, squid-like Orthoceras. Again, this period ended with mass extinction, wiping most of the marine animals from the face of the Earth. The third period of the Paleozoic was the Silurian period, which lasted from 444 to 416 million years ago. This is the first time when life properly began to live on land, and also saw real plants taking root on the once barren surface. One of these new land-dwelling creatures was the Pneumodesmus, an arthropod which breathed oxygen. Finally, this period also saw early fish along with all the other marine animals in the oceans. Yet again, the Silurian ended with some more minor mass extinctions. Then came the Devonian, a period of fish, lots of fish. It lasted from around 416 to 359 million years ago, and it should be said that with all of these dates there is a little bit of leeway on either side. Throughout the period, evolution caused the appearance of ammonites, a group of mollusks whose shells make great shelf cover. Towards the late part of the period, the Devonian experienced a series of extinctions that were worse than the one that killed the dinosaurs. That one will come up in a bit. From this mass of mass extinctions emerged the Carboniferous period, a time known to us for its formation of coal, which came from the large amount of plant matter that died during its infamous rainforest collapse. The whole period lasted from around 359 million years ago to 299 million years ago, and saw life forms like Meganura, which sounds fancy but was basically just a big dragonfly. Like some of the biodiversity at the time, it probably went extinct in the period's minor mass extinction. Finally, the end of an era dawned, the Permian period, the final chapter of the Paleozoic era. Throughout its course of around 299 to 251 million years ago, it saw the evolution of early reptiles, but was notorious for its mass extinctions at the end. It was a dying that great that they called it the Great Dying, or more boringly, the Permian Triassic extinction event. So, from the ashes of increased volcanism, radiation and harsh winters came the Triassic period, the first installment of the Mesozoic, more commonly known as the Age of Conifers. And reptiles, the dinosaurs. It lasted from around 251 to 199 million years ago, and held the first early mammals and dinosaurs. One of these early dinosaurs was the Coelophysis, a theropod known for being relatively small and thin. Yet again, the period ended with some extinctions, and opened the doors for the Jurassic period, a land of better dinosaurs. This period, which lasted from 199 million years ago to 145 million years ago, saw the evolution and diversification of reptiles, taking forms like the famed Allosaurus, another theropod dinosaur that was much fancier than the Coelophysis. After just 3 periods in total, the Mesozoic ended with the Cretaceous period, lasting from 145 to 66 million years ago, when that famous extinction event happened. This likely came in the form of a massive asteroid strike, which could have triggered a non-volcanic volcanic winter and blocked out the sun, slowly knocking out life forms like dominoes until it reached the top of the chain, killing beloved animals like the Tyrannosaurus rex and the Triceratops. With reptiles now degraded, Mammals saw their chance to seize power, and stepped out to begin the Cenozoic era. This began with the Paleogene period, which lasted from 66 million years ago to 23 million years ago. Ignoring that I just said this was a time of mammals, life took the form of notorious predators like the Titanboa, a really big snake. The small mammals gradually became larger and larger over the period, and eventually reached the Neogene period, the time stretching between 23 to just 2.6 million years ago. It marked the first time Earth decided to stick with its current design, exiting its seemingly infinite loop of continental breakups and makeups. Modern animals finally came about, with the ancestors of modern humans evolving too. At the end of this, the current Quaternary period began, one that hasn't yet ended, and might not for a while based on the track record of all those previous periods. In terms of life, you are a prime example of a Quaternary period animal. With that marks the end of the geological time periods. In conclusion, lots of life evolved, and lots of life died, and we ended up with everything we have today. Thank you for watching. If you feel like it, leave a like and subscribe for similarly terribly drawn content. Bye.